Don't just be like, oh, because don't list off the features and why they're great. They know their program's great, but why is it great for you, right? Why is it great for, again, your narrative? Why does this...
This video is kind of brought to you by the Harvard Crimson Global Essay Competition. Is basically a global essay competition for high school and gap year students between the ages of 13 to 18. And students essentially write a 500-word essay in a category of their choosing and compete to win prizes up to like thousands of dollars in cash, free college counseling, and most importantly, an internship at the Harvard Crimson itself. So learn more in the description and sign up with my code ECL400 for a discount on the already low registration fee, which includes boot camps for participants and the chance to become a Crimson Global Ambassador and, you know, to win all those incredible prizes. So yeah, hope you enjoy the video.
Hi guys, I'm not dead. I just have been incredibly busy and had zero time to film videos, but I'm back. Yeah. So I had a long hard think about like what I want to do with this channel, and I don't want to like not make videos anymore, but I want to make more useful videos. So today I will be talking about applying to summer/online programs, because I've been doing a lot of that, part of why I haven't been able to make videos. And I've picked up a lot of tricks, and I just feel like, not even just tricks, just like advice and just things from experience that I want to impart to you, my audience, just to help you guys out whenever you guys are applying to summer programs or online programs, whatever. So yeah, I guess, in case you want to know like why I'm qualified to make this video, I've been, okay, basically like my resume for this, I last year went to Yale for the Yale International Relations Leadership Institute, which I was accepted to with full financial aid. I've been admitted to YYGS 2024 with full financial aid. The Oxford academic program. I applied to that and I got in with, I think they gave me 50% aid, which is why I said no. What else? Just a lot of stuff.
And when I actually applied to YYGS the first time, I did not get in. And I feel like the journey that I had between not getting in the first time and like getting in this time, like I've learned like so much about like how to apply like properly, and like all the different things that I've done in between that period have taught me a lot. And now I just like want to share that with you guys.
Okay, so tip number 1, I would say, is create a personal narrative. So with a lot of really selective summer programs or online programs, whatever it is, look at what it is and what it's like looking for, and try to make your own narrative that aligns with that. Because a lot of these programs, it's like leadership based, like YYGS, yearly, like whatever it is you're applying to, it probably is leadership based. Like they're looking for young people, high school students who are going to make some kind of impact in the future, and they want to like not take credit for, but they want to be part of your journey, because they want to point to you as an alumni and say, hey, our alumni have done incredible things, for example, da-da-da-da-da. So when you're applying, you have to like prove to them like, yes, I am that person. I am capable of becoming a leader in the future. So look at like your profile and what you've like your activities, your awards, and sort of craft a narrative. When I say craft a narrative, that sounds really deceptive, but that's not the way I'm going for it. Like, I mean, look at your achievements and look at what area they're in, and then just hone in on that, right? Like, for example, I want to study education in university, and I have an NGO that's focused on sustainability education. So my 2 like niches are sustainable development and education. So my like narrative is like, I come from an African country, and my goal is to revolutionize education systems to make them more aligned with sustainable development. That's like my narrative, but it's not false. It's not true. It is something that I'm working towards, but it's more clear than just saying, oh, I hope to work in educational policy. You know, that's the difference that I see between a narrative and an aspiration. So instead of going aspirational, make a narrative and make that narrative consistent. And that leads to tip number 2. Align your narrative with your essays. Because when you're writing the application essays, make them make sense. Make them connect. Don't just they're going to be very different essay questions, but in every question you have to highlight a different part of your story and your narrative and your goals, right? So essay number 1 is asking you, so this is from the YYGS application this year. Talk about your ideal day and then imagine what a perfect day in your life would be and then discuss those. So that was the long essay for YYGS. And for that I talked about my typical day was about all the activities I do currently in high school and just my life as a student. And then my ideal day was talking about advocacy, and in my ideal day I did something to do with my NGO and it was successful. And that was my ideal day. It showed my aspirations towards, that narrative. One of the short takes, the fast takes, was about what's a quote that's significant to you and why. I talked about, for that one, I gave a quote from YYGS, an awesome author you guys should totally check out. And the quote was, "As for me, Akosua, I will be my own nation." And which seems really random, but what I said about the quote was that it reflects the desire for self-determination that many women of color seek because society's not very kind to them, so they'd rather create their own society. And so it aligns with, and this quote reminds me that I want to help create a society where the limiting factor is never, my desire to create a future where society is never the limiting factor towards people's success, right? Yeah, still aligns with the goal. So when you align your essays to your narrative, it becomes a lot easier for the admissions officers to see, hey, this person has a good understanding of what they hope to achieve and what this program, our program, will do in helping them achieve it. So again, that makes them more likely to be this is someone that we can put on our alumni page and be proud of, which is why they're gonna wanna pick you. Tip number 3 is to be as specific as possible, because you don't want to especially on the why essays, you don't want to make them think that you haven't understood what their program is and what their program hopes to do. They want people who really, really know what they're getting into and what they're signing up for. And so when you're as specific as possible with what the program contains, what it's going to achieve for you, that obviously is going to help your application stand out, which I know this tip feels obvious, but when I say be specific, I mean be specific. If it's a why essay, don't just be because don't list off the features and why they're great. They know their program's great, but why is it great for you, right? Why is it great for, again, your narrative? Why does this step matter in your journey? That's what I mean when I say be specific. So that's my 3rd tip. And then my final tip, I would say, is to be the best version of yourself, right? Because I don't want to say be yourself, because be yourself is a very cliche and common tip that you get from these application videos or from even admissions officers themselves, which is just, I feel kind of disingenuous, because when you are yourself, you're, as a human, right, you have flaws. None of us are perfect. None of us are as perfect as our college applications would, make us seem, because you don't want to go up there and you want to be vulnerable, but you want to be vulnerable in a tailored way. That's why I say be the best version of yourself, right? So to stand out in these kinds of applications, you want to, really hone in and focus on your strengths and your weaknesses and your uniqueness as an individual. And that's what I would say the whole be yourself thing is about. Because yes, you are flawed, but you also are flawed in ways that not, everyone else is flawed. Everyone has their own flaws, their own unique strengths, whatever. So when you're applying, try to think of what makes you unique and highlight that, For me, I would say my culture, I'm a third culture kid. So that experience is super, super common. Well, not super common, but it's really common, especially nowadays. But what I would say is unique is the way that I've experienced my third culture and the way it's influenced me. And those are things that I sometimes like put in my essays, talk about in my interviews, and that's, you know, put in a little like sparkle of yourself, but don't go too far, right? This is why I also sometimes would say, don't write the trauma essay. Don't write the why experience the struggle essay, because sometimes it can go into like the negative end of vulnerability where you just look like you're complaining. And trauma is valid. Obviously trauma is valid, but admissions officers don't want to read about your struggles unless there's a story there, unless there's this is why this has influenced me. But it's really hard to strike that balance. So I personally avoid those kinds of essays. So the general tip I would give is be the best version of yourself in order to highlight like your uniqueness and your unique features and your unique strengths, because that's also what's going to set you apart from like a lot of other people who are applying, because they want to build a diverse body of students. So, you know, this person has this background, this person has this unique cultural identity. And then together, once they've created like a pool of accepted students, they're going to have like, you know, a diverse community, which is what they want. So that was a really short video on my tips for applying to summer programs or online programs. You can apply this to college applications, I think, as well. Although I want to make a different video about college apps that goes into way more detail, because that's like a lot bigger, obviously. But yeah, that's, you know, in very, very like short summary. I have a lot of thoughts about this, and I might make videos about specific programs like YYGS and like Rise, Civics Unplugged. So yeah, comment below if you want that and like what programs you want me to talk about. But for now, this is it. I'm just really trying to like get a video out there so I can like start the momentum.